like the design, definitely.
The improvements to 3D design instead of like 2D.
I think it's probably my favorite designed game of the series.
Because of the cell shading.
It's the best looking to this point too.
Yeah.
From 1 to 8.
Clearly.
Excluding builders.
Yeah. I also just really like the character design. I don't think there's a poorly designed character in the game at all.
I agree.
Like maybe a few monsters, but I don't really remember any. But like as far as like characters, they're all great. Like they all have a distinct, personality, shape, everything. They are very much different characters.
Yeah.
I admire them.
Even the NPCs are pretty well designed.
Like fucking Yangus wearing like half a spiked coconut as a hat. It's fucking sweet. That's a great idea. Like, what the shit? Nobody else would do that except for Toriyama. It's like, you know what? Spike coconut. That works. That works as a helmet, right?
Yeah.
Crop top. Yeah. Let's do it.
Cod piece.
But it has to be purple, and it has to have long sleeves on it too.
Yeah, and it has
totally
everybody's Dragon Quest waifu.
As it should be.
In that game. So I mean, yeah, like it's definitely my favorite design game.
It's definitely
of the
the
series.
Cockney accent that gets me every time. I don't know. I happen to like that voice.
I don't like it.
I don't know.
What?
Bit of governor.
You don't like
Yes.
Jessica's?
No, I like Jessica's.
Well,
I don't like Yangus.
Who's talking about Jessica?
Oh, really?
Yes.
You said Cockney accent, though.
She is Cockney too.
Yeah,
Really?
she has a little bit of it in there. It's not nearly as expressive as Yangus, but it's definitely
Depending
there.
on which part of the UK it is, there are levels of degree in which case that exists, especially amongst like the high class and the working class.
Yeah, it's definitely a class thing.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, design's great. I personally think that any game that has cell shading the way that it does is the best holding up types of games. Period. Any cell shading game I've played.
Yeah.
You could literally just pick this thing up on PS2 and be blown away by the size of the world and how it looks, and it doesn't look dated to me one fucking bit.
It's like Wind
And it's
Waker.
the same exact
Timeless
way
design.
with Ni no Kuni, which is another level 5 game, which I highly recommend.
I need to play that.
I do too. I need to play that first one.
So, design's wonderful, great. I don't think there was any creatures that I came across this time that I looked at it and went, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I didn't get any text from you this time about it.
I mean, there's some weird ones, but I let it go because it's a unique design, like the fucking furry dudes that were in the boots, and then like the lips,
God,
the slugs with the
sucker lips.
huge ass fucking like lips. Yeah,
As long as they're not Jinx, then we're good.
just shit like that. It's like, oh yeah, it's kind of stupid, but I can't really blame it because it's like not really, really stupid, and
Like
it's not
some of
like
the
just a
ones that have-
recolor. Which this game didn't really have any recolors. Like there's like maybe a few, but I don't really
Maybe a
remember
dragon
any.
thing again.
It was small enough to not notice. So
Yeah, there's
that's definitely
there's
a
hardly
positive.
any recolorings of enemies. Like it had a pretty large variety of different creatures to fight.
Yeah, I think so too. It's definitely the best looking game.
And it definitely helps that, you introduce a little bit new monster designs in each one, and then you're able to pull from the hundreds that have been going on from the series since the beginning to create a wide variety of things similar to the Pokemon thing.
Mm-hmm.
By each gen, you can create 50 or so, and then pull the other 50 from the last gen, and you got this wide amount of bosses and
Variations,
designs that
yeah.
you can put into each area as you go through.
Yep.
So,
The overworld map looked great. Towns looked great. They were all different and unique in their own ways.
oh yeah.
I didn't like the one where you'd have to go on the rooftops though.
Oh,
Where you
Thieves'
meet
Alley?
up with Yangus's master, I think is who it was.
Red.
Oh, it was
Well,
Red?
Yeah, you end up. the horse gets stolen. So
Right.
yeah, and it's a whole bunch of thieves in town, and then eventually Red buys the horse. But yeah, you're trying to figure out what happened to the horse, and you're trying to go along the rooftops and figure out what's going on with it.
Then you have to talk to like every single person in the town.
Yes,
that was the problem with it.
That
was a callback to an older Dragon Quest game.
Yeah. But regardless, though, I still like the way that it was designed and looked. It's just that it's a tedious area.
I think one of my favorite parts of the design is in the overworld, you can like see the whole town from the outside, and then you just walk in and it's the same fucking size.
Yep.
Like they don't downsize
the scale
it.
is perfect.
It's perfectly scaled. It's not like with a lot of older games where like it's scaled down a bit until you get in there and then it gets a little bigger, you know. Yeah. It's just that size. Like you go in there and you got the whole fucking town in there for a PS2 game, like a huge ass RPG, like amazing.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. The console that it was on, coming from PS1 to that was just a huge jump as far as scale and graphics go. So
it's definitely ambitious.
Yeah.
Because not even a lot of full-fledged RPGs took scale that way. They would, scale it down compared to what you would think the whole world would be. It gets tremendously scaled down.
Yep.
For most RPGs from that era.
Yeah, in order to compensate for like other games like Final Fantasy X and stuff, they had to make them super linear. They couldn't make it like huge and yeah. And then like with 12, in order to have huge areas like they did, they had to have a lot of loading screens, a lot of different sections for each part. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't exactly like just one massive open space. It was like a lot of really tiny spaces.
Yeah.
So like that's it. And then Dragon Quest VIII is basically the opposite. It's fucking massive everywhere, and then like each town is kind of like its own little space.
Yep. Xenosaga does a good job at spacing, but it's not nearly to the extent of Dragon Quest VIII. And I know that Tales of the Abyss and the other Tales of Vesperia, I believe, that's on PS2, they had big open world maps like that. But the loading screens, Tales of Symphonia was
Symphonia is the one.
Right. But
I get those mixed up.
I haven't even played them either. Yeah. So no worries there. Just the loading times are not good. They are not good in those PS2 games. So the scale is there on those, but it's not done nearly to the great extent that Dragon Quest VIII does. So
yeah. Plus, those games tried to be a little more graphically imposing, whereas Dragon Quest VIII, maintaining its Akira Toriyama-ness, kind of keeps it like away from having to
push the hardware.
I mean, it looks really, really good, but it doesn't also have to like
change it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to like be super detailed or anything to like demand anything of it. So you can like see a bunch of stuff like, and it won't really have a lot of demand. You don't have to like see like the little fuzzy details on bricks and
hair texture
and hair texture that like Square likes to add, and all that stuff. Like they can keep it that way and then still make it look really good for everything.
Yeah, you ain't got to see the eyes open and close. You could just draw a little thing on the art style of their eyes being closed, and then they open it up all surprised, just like an art style would be with like a drawing.
Yeah.
You ain't really got to animate it that much, because that's basically what a lot of the cutscenes, quote unquote, play out as, is that way. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the emotion of the scene is just played out through subtle animations like that. It isn't this huge, drastic flow of polygons, basically, and trying to mimic what's going on, and with the voice work, and trying to make it super, super detailed. Look at the hair.
That's kind of something I'm glad they don't put a huge emphasis on, like Final Fantasy. Yeah. So they focus more on like story building and
definitely
design,
world building, and
the design of
less annoying characters,
stuff, and exploration.
I don't think there's a single annoying character that I've really experienced in Dragon Quest so far.
Me either.
I don't. Yeah, I can tolerate most of them.
They never have such an imposing effect on the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found what's her name in 6? Maybe.
Oh, hi there. I hope you enjoyed this clip from Puff Puff Hour, a Dragon Quest podcast. If you happen to like what you see, you should subscribe. We have full podcast episodes detailing the main series of Dragon Quest 1 through 11. Oh yeah, and if you like the content, you should check out our other shows from All Out Geekdom Entertainment. We have Nude Clan and Ultima Final Fantasy, the ultimate Final Fantasy podcast. Or, Dragon Quest.